Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in on this incredible evening for some of us, maybe even morning for some of you. I am Flyrish here with L07 to present to you more fun games for season 3. Today we are starting off with the Order of the Phoenoobz versus the Wildcard Hagrids in the Tri-Wizard division. And today I am joined by a very special guest, Askabanger's very own Seeker, T. Rabo. Rabo, welcome on in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely, Robbie. You're one of the dopest people in the community, I must say. I've always had a very pleasant time every time you and I have shared this same VC. I've had very unpleasant times every time you and I have had to be against each other on the field. You are a menace to deal with, one of the top seekers in the game. For those that may not know, Robbo was a seeker for the Revenant Quidditch Club the first 2 seasons. And has now transferred to the Askabangers. If you don't mind, Robert, tell us a little bit about that. How is it like being on a new team? You obviously have a very stacked squad. The resume of that squad is very good. How's it like been in that environment and playing with those guys so far?
Well, uh honestly, it's definitely different because once you obviously, let's say you move to a new place, you have to go ahead and get accustomed to things that are going on, right? Trying to,
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, just trying to get used to other people's personalities, things like that, right? And then going ahead and making sure communication is a big thing, doing little things, right? Just it definitely has been a transition, but so far, personally, I think it's been very well. I think I've been trying to make the transition very well, though.
Absolutely, absolutely, and very skilled players on that team, and you already know most of them pretty well. Playing against them within L7 games as well as other places that may be. For those that aren't aware, Askabangers will be playing in an hour from now against the Nimbus Nighthawks. So we will probably most likely see T. Rabo on the pitch once again today, doing his thing. You feeling good about that?
Yes, honestly, I'm feeling well. I'm feeling well.
Awesome. Let's go into business here. In a few minutes, we will be starting with the Phoenoobz and the wild card Hagrids. Now, Robbo, the Phoenoobz, we are familiar with some of those players. You and I have gone against them some of them in the past, as there are some World Cup players on both of these teams. The Order of the Phoenoobz is captained by Cleat716, who we previously known being part of Dumbledore's army. And he has also transitioned to a beater. I know you love these chasers transitioning over to beaters these days. We have Warbeard, Oiled Up Daddy Hog, Meg Wood, Crazy Chica, NKD, Silverlim 7182, Reality Overload, Emerald Owl, who is a newer player, I believe, along with a Reality Overload, and Double M46. Now, Robbo, you are a really good seeker, one of the best. I know that Emerald Owl and I believe Double M are newer seekers. Have you had the pleasure of running into them at all?
Actually, yes, I remember running into Emerald Owl. Uh, I forget when I did, but I remember they were trying to get some secret training, and definitely um, when I was helping them out with that, they definitely had some really strong points, but a lot of little things to make up for it, as just like let's say bumping wise, right? You don't want to get bumped
Mm-hmm.
in a certain situation. And then going ahead with also just you don't want to, you just want to make sure that you're getting the move, like getting movement down and really understanding what not to do and what things to do, right? Little things like that. But so far they've have a fairly strong foundation to where I feel like they can definitely build up to it to be like, like one of the top bets out here. You know what I mean? So that's me.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, Rob, as we're talking about seekers, when you enter a game, what are like the big things as a seeker you really, I mean, obviously there's a million things, you have to focus on. But obviously, there are some things that could be more detrimental than others. What are like the biggest things as you path yourself, around the snitch and around the pitch that you're looking for to keep yourself in a good position to, you know, not succumb to the pressure that is around you, especially towards these later secret races?
Number one thing, I have to track the enemy beater. Tracking the enemy beater will potentially save your life, right? Definitely on the pitch. So just making sure that you're keeping track of your the enemy beater and your enemy seeker. That's number one and two. I guess you can put them together, but definitely keeping track of those two things are the most important thing as a seeker, and also where the snitch is going to be going, and going ahead and figuring out the path, right? Making sure that you're in a well enough position to either uh, gain meter and also go ahead and catch, of course, right? So those
Mhm.
are I know you only said my top one, but those are my three things.
Oh no,
Like the most
I'll
important.
take all the knowledge. Honestly, we love to, I love to on my broadcast not only just talk about things but also get kind of in depth. There are some players, maybe they are Triwizard players or even in the World Cup or just fans of the game that want to learn more about this game and understand where we all play it at such a high level. So I try to help spread the knowledge as I can. And I don't have the secret knowledge you do. I can't. I have tried the secret position against you, my friend, and let me tell you, it's never come out successfully for me. As we look to the other team, the Wild Card Hagrids, they are definitely the wild card team. Their name is for sure in it. This is kind of a branch of the Bob's Baddies in another league where they pick all any and let the Quidditch gods decide. They are captained by Melanor, who is the L7 administrator. They are joined by PS1 Hagrid Bot. For anyone that doesn't know or may be familiar with the old Department of Mysteries Discord, the kind of the real original Quidditch unofficial Quidditch Discord where everyone hung out at. That is Professor Theo, and he's mostly known for he being the reason that there's even a Hagrid mask. For those that don't know, during the playtest days, maybe a little bit of NDA, but actually not really. We Professor Theo begged every day for the devs to put in a Hagrid costume, and they responded with the Hagrid mask. He is the sole responsibility that it exists, and even the devs had said so. They have Laggy Lestrange, a previous member of Dumbledore's army, as well. Los Bobs, a previous member of Season 1 Thin Ice. Shinobert, who was a previous member of the Season 1 and Season 2 Wingardians. Dan Bang, who was a big play tester. Gav Gum, who has stayed active in the Quidditch community, but never on a team. I believe this is his first one. Sitting Duck, Bonzo, and Katie Talks, the previous Wingardian beater. Obviously, Robbo, when you look up and down this roster, they actually have a pretty stacked roster on paper. But when you add in the element of all any, obviously anything can happen. So as you look along amongst this roster, do you have anyone that you could point out that you say, I feel pretty good about this player, whether regardless of what role they are on, or are there people on this roster you'd say it'd be really good that if they get on this role, if the Quidditch gods bless it to them, but they may end up on something else?
Well, number one, I definitely think Melanor is a very strong any position player. Definitely, because I can definitely recall from like months ago, she could literally go ahead and just play whatever she wanted, and then she'd be very successful at it, right? Definitely, Melanor is one to definitely be watching out for. Also, Shinobert, personally, I think he's really good at any position as well. Maybe not on Melanor's level, but definitely one of those that you want to watch out for. Especially at either keeper and or seeker. Those are one of like those two are pretty much, in my opinion, two of his best roles, right? If anything, people who you don't want on beater. Hopefully you don't get either KD Tox or Laggy on beater. Those are two that you just don't want on Beta right now. I can't even lie. I've gone against them as a seeker and I have fallen a lot. And I did not like it. Right? So those are definitely some of my a little bit of my standouts personally. I haven't really gone against a lot of many others, but definitely those players are, you know, in those positions to where they can definitely make something happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one other I would like to point out is Los Bobs. It has been a little bit since we have seen him, though he was a finalist player in season one, L7, as well as on the Bob's Baddies. He did play that any position role, and Bob's Baddies was pretty successful, and Los Bobs was a huge part of that success. As we go in here for game one, we're going into Durmstrang Overcast. This is a pretty good map. I think a lot of the seekers like this map, correct, Robbo?
Yes, actually, a lot of them do. A lot of them do. Like mainly because you get a lot of good visibility and just being able to somewhat see the snitch, right? Definitely because the snitch is bright and the map isn't as dark as Forbidden Forest.
Absolutely. Well, we go in here. We'll start seeing what we got. Looks like Laggy will be on Chaser. Katie Talks on Seeker. Los Bobs on Keeper. Shinobert Sitting Duck on Chaser alongside Laggy. And Melanor on Beater. A very interesting lineup. We will have to see what is in store. Right now, the Emerald Owl is low on that Seeker roll. Laggy hovering around looking for that loose quaffle, doesn't quite get it. Silverlimb with the pickup as he takes it on downfield to the face of Los Bobs. Laggy looking for that seeker to hit. She is a beater main at heart, even on Chaser. Silverlimb dancing around with the quaffle right now, takes a shot and puts it in. 10-0 for Order of the Phoenoobz with 6 minutes 20 seconds left. They seem to be putting a lot of pressure on this opposing seeker though early, Robbo.
Definitely. Secret pressure is extremely important, especially either in honestly at almost any point of the game. Because if you go ahead and take out their secret, they have no chance of 30 points coming back on them, right? So definitely.
Absolutely. That first snitch is always very important, as every team says. Silverlimb passes up to Vaughn. Outlaw Los Bobs kicks it right back out, but it hands in back into the hands of Silverlimb, and he puts it on in. 20-0 Order of Phoenoobz with 5 minutes 40 seconds remain. Right now, the Seekers are looking close. Los Bobs holding that quaffle. If only he got it a little bit earlier, he may have had a chance to kill Emerald Owl, but she goes down by the hands of Melanor as soon as Cleet took out Melanor, and Sitting Duck puts it in for 10 with 5 minutes 20 seconds left. A lot of momentum there for the Hagrids, Robbo. Seeker kill, beater kill, and a score.
Definitely. I think Emerald Isle just went down, didn't they?
Again, they just went down a second time.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be difficult to come back from that. It's win. Is it comebackable? Yes, but it's going to be very difficult. They're going to have to put a lot more pressure on that other seeker.
Absolutely. As Shinobi just puts in another goal, makes it 2020 with 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. And with Katie Talks having such a lead on that Seeker race, and Los Bobs looks to take down Emerald Owl once again. That is a very rough first start for Emerald Owl, but maybe they're just getting their nerves put into place. Silverlimb holds the quaffle right now. He's taking it on downfield. He's looking in the face of Los Bobs. Melanor trying to take the ball out, and she does. She stuns and takes it out of the hands of Silverlimb. The quaffle gets passed up to Shinobi. Melanor focusing full Chaser, takes a swing at Cleet, does miss as the Chasers are pushing it up for the side of the Hagrids. KD Talks right now. We're a little framey on this side of things. She is getting close to that catch. There we go. Emerald Owl, half HP. KD is low HP as well, taking a dodge, but gets kicked by Crazy Chica. She goes down. Katie Talks takes her first death of the match, I believe. 3 minutes, 45 seconds remain. Emerald Owl also goes down to the hands of Melanor, and NKD puts it in to put the lead up. 30-20, 3 minutes, 30 seconds remain. This could get very dicey here, Robbo.
Indeed, it could. You definitely got to be watching out for those keeper kicks, especially when you're at low health and or half, right? They can definitely turn the tide in the snitch race.
Right now, Emerald out 1 HP. KD Talks getting very close to that. Melanor taking down the Seeker again. Cleat gets a punch. Let me ask you, Robbo, if you're full HP, what is the most detrimental thing that can hit you? Is it a bump? Is it a beater tackle? Is it a keeper kick? Or is it a bludger?
Tackle. A beater tackle, it could literally can really take you out, because if you go ahead and get tackled by let's say a 226 beater, right? And you're at low health, not only are you going to be down 5%, or what I think it's about 10 to 15%. Yeah, that's definitely something in a position you don't want to be in. It's not favorable.
KD Talks had the indicator twice there, not quite getting the catch on it. Looks like there was a little bit of desync there. She has the 100%, has had the 100%. And there she goes now for the catch to put Hagrids up by 30, 60, 30, 2 minutes, 16 minutes remain. It seems like this race is the battle of who will survive the longest, Robbo.
Yes, it does.
Right now, a little bit of desync takes over. Laggy holding on to the quaffle as she makes her way downfield. This chaser core of Hagrid's, or this variant of it, has actually done a pretty decent job. Laggy with the dodge had a moment there to put it in, was just did not have the angle. And right now the ball is loose, but picked up by Shinober. That's a very dangerous chaser. And he puts it on in 7 minutes, or excuse me, 70-30 with a minute and 30 seconds remains. At this point, Robbo, I mean, if you're on the team, Emerald Owl, 1 HP, you know, there is still a chance for a seeker catch here, correct? There's still enough time?
Yes, there's more than enough time, especially 120. Yeah, more than enough time. Hopefully, oh, never mind. Well, not never mind, but Melanor just took Emerald down. That will definitely be difficult to try and come back from. It'll be very tight, but it can be. They are somewhat able to come back.
Absolutely. But right now, the chaser core of the Phoenoobz do need to find a way to put another one in, as well as take KD Talks out of this seeker race. There's only 45 seconds remaining. Silverlim with the quaffle. This would be a good start if he could put it in right here, right now. He dodges low spots and he misses the shot. And Laggy able to get the pickup. That was such a crucial shot he needed to hit. And right now, KD Talks still full health, are actually down by 1 health. Laggy trying to pass this on up to Shinobert. Shinobert able to get the grab off the floor. He may have a dodge, and he does, and a score for that 80-30. And at this point, it might just be a little too much. KD's nearing that 100%. She does get beater tackled there. It's not impossible for Emerald Owl to catch it, but the time for a chaser score might be a little too much.
Nice bump right there. Yeah, unfortunate, but definitely the time had ran out. As a seeker, I personally understand, like, definitely time constraints and whatnot. But yeah, that was an immaculate game. Honestly, they put all types of pressure on Emerald Out and allowing for them to go ahead and be free, so to speak, on the chaser game. So it's definitely something that they should probably be going ahead and looking for, working on.
Absolutely. That probably would be the adjustment, I would say, for game 2 of the series, is maybe a little bit more pressure on the Hagrid's beater. It was Melanor in that situation. We don't know who it will end up being in the next game. That's always gonna be the fun part of watching the Hagrids. Do you think we may see a bit of a lineup change? I know they have Double M in there. Do you think we could see certain changes? Maybe I've seen Daddy Hog even working on his seeker game recently. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of seeing that.
Actually, yes, I have seen him seek before. Definitely. He almost called on me. I think it was yesterday. It was. Definitely, he can definitely go ahead and uh be in a good position to go ahead to make either good bumps and or position himself well to catch the snitch. Definitely, one of those things that I think he needs to work on is just making sure that he's paying more attention to enemies around him. That's all.
Absolutely. I know you can correct me if I'm wrong from a seeker perspective, Rob. But by the way, the chat loves you. They're calling you the chillest seeker in a soothing voice, by the way. You're doing a great job with here tonight. Can we get some W Robos in the chat coming by and guest commentating with me today? You know, when you take these turns, especially around the hoops, I believe you are one of the very good users of utilizing focus cam in your seeker game. Is that like one of the best times to identify where everyone's position is as you turn around the hoops, or are there even other little areas that you can utilize to figure out where everyone's positioning is?
Oh, so definitely, personally, I'm always in focus camp, trying to make sure, trying to see and go ahead and figure out who is around me, what are they doing, and why are they there, right? Why is a chaser what 3 feet to my back right? Oh, they're more than likely either going to hit you, or they might be just going for a quaffle. We're not going to take the chance of them going ahead and thinking about the quaffle. They want to hit you, honestly, right? So, so you just want to go ahead and make sure that you're, especially on those turns. Those turns are very important to keep those keep focus cam on. And when you're going around an enemy keeper hoops, you definitely want to keep that on. But sometimes you do have to be cognizant of the keeper themselves. They can kick you, they can go ahead and put you at half health. You cannot be in a situation like that, right? I know I personally get kicked a lot, so I I can definitely tell you from experience, you don't want to be in that position, right? But yeah, that's that's it for me.
Yeah, we definitely know, unfortunately for all seekers, just going around the red hoops, you could be full health in one moment and then everything can just come crashing down for you if that keeper is able to sneak a kick in there and get wombo comboed on many things. And uh, you've had the pleasure of working with two very good seeker kicking keepers. Obviously, you had Comp Boo for your first 2 seasons. Now you have Scourge. So you've seen the other seekers unfortunately have to come to that demise multiple times,
I
and
think
will
I
continue to
saw
do so this season. Okay.
I literally saw we were doing a scrim yesterday, and literally one of the only reasons why I caught on I think it was on J Guard, because Scourge literally said, "Oh yeah, there you go right there, smack. Come on now, go it."
I,
My team, like team keepers who can kick, are immaculate, just lovely. I love
oh
them to
yeah,
death.
oh
Flowers in
yeah.
the chat, please.
Yes, they are invaluable to any team, and I've had the pleasure of basically for a season and a half watching Scourge bail us out on multiple seeker races. So you'll have a lot of fun with him this season. The Hagrids are still setting up. Looks like they're getting a change of roster. Usually I try to keep those a little bit more secretive when I see things on my end, but it being the Hagrids, I mean, we don't know what they're going to do anyways. So it looks like they'll be bringing in some new people to their lineup. So they're switching that out right now as we wait for it. But you know, later today you have Nimbus Nighthawks that you're facing against Rabo. I believe their main seeker is still Michimo, correct?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is Michimo and Disc Jockey. Those two
That is
are
correct.
yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, I definitely I've worked with Michi before. And I've played against Michi before, and she is personally to me a, how do you call it? Um Elusively aggressive when it comes down to Seeker, right? Because sometimes she'll go ahead and bump you, disappear. Where did she even come from, or where did she go? Who knows, right? You're just sitting here like, what's going on? And Disc, he's definitely a fighter, best believe. If you're ever like, you can never really go ahead and say to yourself, "Oh yeah, I got this." because he will go ahead and come through last minute and go ahead and snatch it up from you. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. And I do believe BNG will work on they did have a game earlier. It was a well fought battle for BNG. And I know that this team is that you're on now is relatively a mix of a bunch of teams that have now come together and have formed a very strong roster. How do you think the synergy is going to be handled after going through game one? Now, you didn't have Skinny in the game, and obviously Skinny is a huge player. But as y'all form and grow together, I mean, you don't have to comment on this, but after this first series that y'all have taken, how is the inside? Or I'm sure it must be staying positive and everyone's working. Now that this is a double round robin season, everyone's trying to work on how to correct the mistakes and get that synergy going, because y'all have a very strong roster that if it gets going, if all cylinders are off, I mean, it's very strong.
So for us, really just sitting back. Keep in mind, this is our first League 7 game. So definitely our synergy is there, but we're just not firing off on those cylinders, right? Which is completely fine. And definitely we're gonna definitely go ahead and review, look back, go ahead and just game plan better. That's all it is, especially having a little bit more time with each other, going ahead and just, I guess accommodating to each other, right?
Indeed. I know y'all are gonna come out with a lot of tenacity tonight, chat. Don't go anywhere after this series, because in about 40 minutes, the Bangers will be up against the Nimbus Nighthawks. The Nimbus Nighthawks have already played one series, I believe, against the Badge Wagons. And so both teams looking to get on track here in this double round robin season of L7. And as we are looking in, as my insider side of things are looking in, they both teams, the Phoenoobz and the Hagrids, seem to have their rosters ready to go. Looks like they're just waiting on the timing to queue, although one side is queuing and one side is not at the current moment. So hopefully here shortly they will be off. The Hagrids, if no one has noticed, is all wearing the Hagrid masks, which I think is a rule of the team, Bravo, for all to wear the Hagrid masks. What do you think? There was a lot of feelings about the Hagrid mask when it first came out, Bravo. Do you personally like it or not?
Personally, I like it. I thought they were going to put Hagrid in the game after they put the mask in. I was like, oh wow, this would be this would be dope. Why don't they have it? Where's Hagrid? Where is he? Right? I mean, honestly, just having like a little bit of portion, just like one little part, definitely warms my heart, because back in the day, when I used to watch the Harry Potter movies, I used to love seeing Hagrid on screen, because he's very jolly, he's very upbeat and very straightforward as far as I know, right? So definitely, I definitely like the addition.
Absolutely. Well, Hagrid is the commentator for Forbidden Forest, and that is where we're going for our game 2, as they are in and ready to get this kicked off. And shortly here, I will see what the lineups are. Melanor on Seeker, Katie Talks on Beater, so that is a very dangerous combo. And Oiled Up Daddy Hog will be on Seeker for the Phoenoobz. To round out the Hagrids, Gavgum on Chaser, Shinobi on Keeper, Dan on Chaser, and there's one other, I didn't quite get the look of it, but Megwood on Keeper is also another change up for the Phoenoobz. Silverlim right now holding the Quaffle as he looks for his opportunities. The ball was taken out of him. Shinobi with the grab. He sends it up to Professor Theo, PS1 Hagrid bot, who is the other chaser for the Hagrids right now, in Katie with the steal. As she takes it upfield, Gav stealing it right back. Already, we have a chaser battle back and forth. Dan looking for his shot and just rims it off just a little bit. Now, Rabo, you said earlier KD was one of the people you would not want to see on the opposing side as a beater. They have Melanor on Seeker. This has to feel like a pretty dangerous combo right now for them.
Exactly. This is a very nasty situation to be in. But best believe, hopefully we and there we go. A little tackle right there. But go ahead and just something that you just don't want to see. It's an and we get elimination on Daddy Hog. Yeah, see, this is why, you don't want to go ahead and sit there and be non-mobile, especially with KD on beater. You don't want to be there. Don't want to be anywhere near her, especially as a seeker.
Absolutely. In this segment of even talking about KD, she has taken down both the Seeker and the beater. Hagrid's able to get 10 on the board. So they take the early lead, and they're having a pretty good grasp on the snitch. This roster, Rabo, was very good. A lot of people felt like they had a potential to come to the World Cup division with us had they not go all in. KD with another elimination right there. Do you feel that this roster, if they truly played to their strengths, as Daddy Hog goes down again by KD, chill KD. I'm trying to make talking points. You got to give me talk about the game. Do you think that this roster truly does have the caliber of being World Cup potential?
Oh yeah, they definitely do, man. So especially they have very high potential to go ahead and compete with some of the best out there, right? I.e., thin ice and wholesome comms. Excuse me, right? They'll definitely have a lot. We would definitely have a lot more competition, but obviously, World Cup is a very, I guess, not exclusive, but more or less, there's only so many spots, right? And
Absolutely.
it would have definitely been great to go ahead and have every one of them into the World Cup, but obviously we can't. So, oh well, right?
It is a little bit sad. I'm sure every team would have loved playing against the Hagrids just for the fun of the game. And that is what the Hagrids seem to be doing. Katie talks with another elim on Daddy Hog as Melanor gets closer and closer to grabbing this snitch as we approach the halfway mark. The Phoenoobz did put in another 10 on the board, so it is tied 10-10 at the halfway point. Melanor trying to find her way in. She gets bumped, though, by Daddy Hog. But Daddy Hog taking a bludger right there. So much pressure on Daddy Hog. Mel has that 100% meter. She's got to find her way in. Daddy Hog trying to dominate the snitch path right now. She's looking for her bump opportunity. She misses. She just got her dodge back just in time. I believe she got bumped there, so she is not at 100 anymore. Finds it again, gets bumped again. It must be hard, Robbo, when you have that 100 and she goes down. I mean, Robbo, when you have that 100, but that other seeker is just dominating the snitch path, what do you do to get that snitch?
Well, one of the things you definitely have to be evasive. That's number one. You cannot sit here and just go ahead and be too tunnel visioned on the snitch. You still have to be cognizant. You can't get sloppy with your with all that good work, because obviously now that you can see Daddy Hog is catching up a lot more. I personally think Melanor will catch the snitch, but definitely if she doesn't go ahead and make those small mistakes, yeah, see, not paying it right there, right? Going ahead and making those small mistakes to where little things can go ahead and hit her and or bump. Yeah, you definitely got to be more. You got to pay more attention to those. And even if the all the chasers, keepers, and everyone else going ahead and aiming at you, you gotta try to calm your head, calm your mind, stay focused in it, right? Don't
Well,
mess
right
up
now
all the
it
work that you
is.
already did.
It is right now a bloodbath with the Seekers. Daddy Hog and Melanor went down. Professor Theo able to put in 2 goals in the meantime, giving them a 30-10 lead. And right now, these hard work of the beaters, Clee and KD, internally have just got to be like, oh, one of us has got to catch you. Daddy Hog doing a great job staying in this game. He has positioned himself well to continually put Mel in uncomfortable positions. Mel getting a kill right there, taking the bludger, though. Silverlimb puts it in. It is now a 30-10, 30-20, excuse me, now to 60-20 with 1 minute and 9 seconds left. Melanor finally, after having 100% beater since the 3-minute 35-ish second mark, finally able to secure that snitch, Robbo.
Yeah, it was definitely something else. I can't even lie to you. It was. Oh, I think we're only gonna have a one snitch game here. Oh, that's immaculate. But yeah, definitely, it's that was definitely something. Uh, what is it, man? I'm sorry. I'm just thinking like, man, Daddy Hog was definitely able to go ahead and prevent Mel from catching for a very good while. So it's one of those things, right? Going ahead and not getting sloppy on your routes, right? Or your
Absolutely.
snitch routes. Going ahead, right? So
He's stayed grindy despite all the deaths. There was quite a few deaths from him, and he's already 1 HP again. And as you said, I do believe it'll be a one snitch game. He goes down again. KD, chill. Have mercy, KD. And Mel's killed him twice on bumps. I believe that it takes a minute and 15 for a second snitch if you have a perfect run. So when she caught at 53 seconds, I do believe that was the end of any possibility for a second snitch. And Wildcard Hagrids taking that victory. Was that as chaotic as you thought it'd be, Robbo?
honestly, I knew it was gonna be good, but that was pretty. That was very chaotic in my perspective. Yeah,
I
it
think
was.
Wildcard Hagrids is always going to be the really fun team to watch because I just think this is how almost every game is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that they always bring that type of I guess energy to each and every one of their games.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to the wild card Hagrids on your 2-0 victory, and shout out to the Phoenoobz. Listen, the Phoenoobz, they have picked up quite a lot of new players their first time in any of the competition. Cleat has been doing a fantastic job of captaining that team and trying to put them in positions to still learn and scrim. So congratulations to the Phoenoobz on your well deserved attempt here against the Hagrids. And yeah, so thank you so much. We will be back in about 30 minutes where we will see our good friend Robbo here take on the Nimbus Nighthawks and Michimo and Disc Jockey. We will see. I know you and Neo are probably rotating, so maybe one of you will have Mitchie and the other will take on Disc Jockey. Either way, be sure to not miss it, chat. Once again, can we get W's in the chat for Robbo, who did an incredible job of coming here, doing his first commentation. And Robbo, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure for me. You did a great job, man. You were always welcomed back up here with me again.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate being invited. I appreciate all the love.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we will take a small break. I don't think the stream will. I think the stream will stay live, so stick around. Gamble your shards, except for Jim because he just lost all of his. Gamble your shards, and we'll be back for more action soon. And I believe my co-commentator will be KD Talks. So And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get prepared for another exciting match between the Aska Bangers and the Nimbus Nighthawks. I am Flyers here today commentating for this L7 match, and joining me right now is a very, very recent winner that you all just watched in the Wildcard Hagrids game. I would like to say a position, but there's really no position. We have Katie Talks. Katie, welcome on in.
Hi, thanks for asking me to be here.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure to have you here today. First off, congratulations on your very recent victory with the Wildcard Hagrids, a 2-0 sweep of the Phoenoobz. Let me ask you, how was game one on Seeker, Katie? Did you have fun with that?
It was a lot better than I expected. I'm pretty sure I threw an F-bomb when I saw that I was on Seeker. But I caught my 5th snitch ever. I got that achievement, so.
Okay. What were the comms like when you found Crazy Chica's foot towards the end there of the first Seeker race?
Probably a lot of cursing. I'm not entirely sure what words came out of my mouth the entire match. Except the end. I know the very end of the second one, I was like, no, get off me. I want to catch the snitch. And suddenly I understood Seekers for just a moment.
You understood Seekers for just a moment. Well, I'll tell you what, last broadcast, I had a co-commentator with me that is a Seeker main, and T. Robbo. And he mentioned beforehand, as we were going over the roster, obviously we know that y'all will be all innie for the season, but we discussed what roles the other team may hate to see you on. And Robbo mentioned you specifically, as well as Laggy, that they would probably hate to see you on beater. And I believe you could probably attest that that would be true after your game 2 performance, which was very monstrous, I must say.
I enjoyed that a lot. It was fun. I always love playing beater, and when I'm doing well and actually hitting tackles, it's just even better. So
Absolutely. Mel had like 2 kills as well, I believe.
Yes, I love that Seeker build where the Seekers do damage too.
Oh, was she 415?
You know, I don't actually know. It just seemed like she was doing like 2 or 3 damage when she bumped.
Yeah, I believe she it sounds like she'd be on 415, which would be that. But I got to tell you though, it was were you a little nervous though? You know, that snitch race went over 6 minutes long. Were you a little nervous there for a second? Daddy Hog seemed like he's catching up a little bit.
There may have been a moment or two where I was like, "Oh, this is close," and then I was like, "Oh well, gotta do another elim," you know. Darn, gotta go punch some more people.
I feel. Well, congratulations to you and the Wildcard Hagrids. It was definitely a fun match to watch. But here we are, Katie. We're going up against the, or we're not going up against. We get to commentate the Aska Bangers versus the Nimbus Nighthawks. Now, you were a Wingardium beater for 2 seasons, World Cup beater last season. So you are familiar with these 2 teams a little bit. Let's go ahead and start with the Aska Bangers, which has some of our previous teammates as well as some of our previous rivals. They are captained by Jim Tones, a beater, so someone I'm sure you're familiar with in battle, as well as Airyberry, KD.
Mm-hmm. Very familiar with both of them. Both as well, I guess technically both as competitors, since I've played against Airy in a couple of tournaments, and also as teammates, since I was with both of them for Wingardians with Airy and Bob's Baddies with Jim. So.
Oh, that's right. That is correct. You have experience with both of them. They played earlier. Airy was part of a snitch race against Rishi, where she helped be a part of Neo catching one snitch on Rishi. So she's already primed and ready to go for today's competition. They have the Chaser Core of Teddy Ready, Dake Bluebee, Gloss, and your boy Skinny P. Now, we didn't see Skinny P earlier, chat. I don't know if he is available for today's. It does look like he is around and available for this evening's matchup. And they have these Seekers of Neo and T-Robo. Seekers, you have worked with one of them in a 5v5 tourney, as well as Neo was on our team. And obviously you have had the pleasure of going against T-Robo a few times. And on the other side, another Seeker that you are well familiar with, captained by Michimo for the Nimbus Nighthawks. She will be joined today by the squad of Cheese and Queso, who I believe we may see on Keeper, because I do believe Dak Daniels is out for now. I think he's taking a trip. I could be wrong on that, chat. I know one of the Nimbus Nighthawks is out in Italy, I believe. So it could be Dak Daniels. If not, he is our free flight keeper goat. They also picked up a Seeker in Disc Jockey. They will have the Chaser squad of Dark Grit, Nighthawk, It's Harry, Vibing with Vin, and Lego. And I believe their beater will be Captain Carnage. So as we look at these two rosters, KD, what is the things that stand out to you the most as far as their overall chemistry, their dynamics, and what have you? Let's start with the Ask-A-Bangers, since I know you're pretty familiar with a lot of these players.
Yeah, with the Ask-A-Bangers, the trio of Glass, Steak, and Teddy, they've been playing together for a while, I believe, as chasers. So that should be a good matchup there, those three. And then the same with Ari and Neo. They've played together for a season already, so they should have some good chemistry. And then, of course, Ari and Scourge have played together for a season as well. I think they've got some pretty good players on that team. I'm obviously a little bit biased since I've played with so many of them, but I do like their chances winning this.
Okay. We, on the other side, Michimo is obviously a very experienced Seeker in the realms of L7. You have gone against Michimo. Rabo described Michimo as elusive. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I think Michimo has a lot of good experience as Seeker. And it's interesting having I don't think, are there very many Seekers that are captains of teams?
I believe Michimo might be the only one. She's the only one I can think of at the current moment.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Just as a unique case.
I will say in the Tri-Wizard division, actually, Rishi is now the captain of Wholesome Comms. So he is a Seeker captain, as well as in the Tri-Wizard, you would have the Oakshaft Owls, because Olympus Mew is their captain, I believe. And I think he goes on Seeker here and there, as well as Hellfire Hogs. Mooney has seeked at some times, I believe, as if Tama is not available. So Michi has been the captain, I believe, of her team every season, but I believe she may have been the only real Seeker captain for a while. But now that Rishi is taking the helm of Wholesome Comms, which I have messed up saying that many times, Katie, today. There's some competition, I believe, between the Seeker captains of the league. But right now, as I can see from my little insider side of things, the Ask-A-Bangers are selecting, so we should be getting in a game soon. I'm being corrected by the chat that Rishi is a keeper main. That defeats my whole entire purpose of life in L7 Season 3 now. WTF? Why is this? When did this change happen? I would like an overthrow of Wholesome Comms captain. Cardi should be captain of Wholesome Comms and put Rishi back on Seeker, please and thank you. Get it done. But yeah, I'm just kidding. We're going to be here for a good matchup again. We saw Ask-A-Bangers fall to a very tough battle against the Wholesome Comms earlier today. They did not have Skinny P in the lineup. I believe they will today or this evening. And so they will be looking to get back on the right track. Nimbus Nighthawks did falter to their first matchup against the Bad Dragons. So they will also be looking to get on track here today, chat. So I'll expect a lot of tenacity back and forth. But I got to say, I may be on the side with KD here. There is a lot of firepower when you look at BNG, and you know that they are going to be working on that synergy from what was showcased earlier today. So here shortly, they are currently in queue to be finding a game. So hopefully here shortly, we should find ourselves kicking off for game 1, BNG and Nimbus Nighthawks. Be sure to gamble some shards while you're at it. I will say that every time I look at the chat, everyone has lost all their shards. So I don't even know if we have shards to gamble, though it looked like Dark Shadow Fox got a little lucky there. So as you look forward to this season, KD, actually I'll ask you this after game 1, because they are now going into game 1 in Ilvermorny. Hooray! And we do have the POV. It is my favorite. Best commentator. And I would love to commentate with Eula Fuente one of these days, but alas, that is only a dream. We will be starting off with a POV of your boy Skinny HP. It is good to see him in the lineup today as we get ready for our kickoff. And here we go. They are off. Teddy ready in for Chaser as well, alongside Glosh, Jim Tones on Beater, Scourge on Keeper, and Neo starting off for Seeker for the Bangers. Skinny HP has the ball to start off with. Looking at his pass option in Teddy. 2 chasers in the way, though. He is looking for options. He goes for the reverse shot, and he puts it in. 10 points, 6 minutes, 40 seconds remains. And the Bangers starting off hot. And right now, KD, Captain Carnage already taken down Jim Tones. Let me ask you, KD, as a beater, when you look at these early snitch races, are you looking to get some early punches on the Seeker to try to help them out? Or do you think it's good to kind of take the beater out, let the Seeker get a little bit of their momentum here early?
You know, it really depends, because sometimes early on, I actually like to focus Chaser game until the Seekers make a little progress on the snitch, and then I'll go in on the Seeker.
There are sometimes differences between, I guess the opponent does matter and the Seeker you have matters. I know each of them have a little bit of different of requests. I'm learning as I have been starting to play beater. Dark Grit Nighthawk taking a shot there at Scourge. Scourge not letting it in, kicks it on out to Skinny. Skinny has almost no competition on his way over, although one chaser is flooding him. That Quaffle carry slows him down just enough, and vibing with Vin comes out of nowhere from the corner, punches it out of the hand of Skinny P. He takes it on downfield. He's got all 3 BNG chasers on him, and he was not able to get through. Teddy Ready with the big steal. Teddy Ready maybe has an option for passing. Looks like he's going to take it. He dodges and puts it into the top hoop for a 20-0 lead. 5 minutes, 20 seconds remains. Right now, it looks like the Seeker on the side of Nimbus Nighthawks is 1 HP right now. Cheese and Queso doing his best on Keeper to defend him. And Skinny looking or Gloss looking for a punch. He gets him. And Cheese and Queso goes down for the protection. Disc Jockey at 1 HP, and he goes down to Jim Tones. Katie, this must be the type of stuff you like to see.
It is. I do like to see Seekers hit the floor, as long as they're not my Seeker. So it's very satisfying.
Absolutely. Right now, that gives Neo a pretty decent lead on the side for the Seekers. Right now, we're having riveting gameplay of Jim Tones menu, but we are back. It looks like the Seeker Disc Jockey is already low. Again, he takes a dodge. Jim was not ready to capitalize on it. He goes for the punch, doesn't quite get it. Skinny HP able to put in another goal, 30-0 in favor of BNG. 4 minutes, 15 seconds remain. Disc Jockey able to get his HP back up, but kicked by Scourge. I know, Katie, you can talk about, we've had experience with Scourge before, helping us out on that Seeker game. He gets another kick right there.
Yeah, I will say, like, that is one thing as a beater, is you can be a great beater, but it really is nice to have your entire team that helping you out. Keeper, chasers, sometimes even the Seeker when they are doing some damage too.
Absolutely. Right now, Neo closing really close in on that catch. Cheese and Queso was trying to help out Disc jockey there by holding him away. Disc jockey half HP. Jim Tone sends the bludger and he hits him with it. Oh, that's got to be a good feeling. I love it when you see them
great
dodge like
timing
that.
right there.
Absolutely. And Neo with the catch. KD, they are up 60-0 with at the halfway mark. What adjustments do you think we need to see on the side of Nimbus Nighthawks to get something on the board here?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is they need to not panic. See, and then they can get a score in.
Dark Rit Nighthawk getting in 10 past Scourge. This is a good start. We have seen there has been a curse with 60-0 leads. We have seen quite a few of them reverse here right now. Teddy ready looking to see if he can change that fate, and he does by putting it in on the right side, keeping that 60-point lead. Now, obviously, KD, as a beater, this is a tough spot because, you know, the chasers need to get some scores in, but you also need that catch. Is this one of those moments where you say maybe the first half of the secret race, you see what you can do for your chasers, trust your secret to live, and then try to get that snitch catch later in the game?
Yeah, I think that could be a good strategy to try to focus the chasers a little bit and keep an eye on the other beater, and let your seeker deal with the other seeker for a little bit, because they have to do something drastic. They have to get that snitch, but they also need to get some scores.
Absolutely, and they get one right there, KD, on command. Most casters have curse, but you seem to be so far caster blessed. KD is our first caster blessed caster. Let's go. 22 minutes remains for the Azkabangers and Nimbus Nighthawks. Jim Tone's at low HP right now. Looks like Captain Carnage was taking some time to pressure him. Captain Carnage is also low though. So maybe right now these beaters are just fighting at it. Skinny HP right now, looping around, finding his options. He does have a pass option in Teddy. Looks to be that he won't go for it. Fakes it to the right as if he could have shoveled it, then goes to the top. Jim Tones goes down, and right now it looks like Neo has a pretty decent lead on this snitch. I don't want to say that it's over, but it is looking pretty rough here, KD.
Yeah, it is. I think that they need to give it their all in the last of this game and then re-strategize before the next one.
Try to find some confidence, try to find some weakness, maybe in Scourge. But right now, that's even if they can get it to the side of Scourge. Gloss putting it in for another 10, 90, 20, 1 minute remains. We'll see if Neo is able to get this final catch or if they'll put the 100 in beforehand. Cheese and Queso coming so far out to try to help that Seeker game right now. Teddy ready with the pickup. Cheese and Queso goes down. Teddy ready seemingly having an open field to work with if he wanted to, but it looks like that was stopped by the Nimbus Nighthawks chaser, who puts it in. It's Harry. And was that, I believe that was caught on the side of Nimbus. Nimbus making a big comeback there on the Seeker race, and that put it 90-60.
This may still end with a win on Azkabangers, but that's got to feel good to have a comeback like that. It'll help going into the next game.
Absolutely. Skinny closing it off there with 160, but it did show that the Nimbus Nighthawks can put up 60 had they had a little bit more defense in there to stop that scoring frenzy by the BNG chasers, which I know is so hard to do. There was life there. Hey, they won the second half 62-40. So anything can happen there as this jockey caught his snitch even down. Must have had some good bumps there at the end. Azkabangers will be taking game one. I got to tell you though, Katie, there was a lot of beater secret play there. Some deaths there, unfortunately, on the side of Nimbus Nighthawks. What do you think the Nighthawks need to do going into this second game to possibly help that Seeker game, but still keep that Chaser game, stabilized?
It's hard to say because they need to put up or at least do some defense on the Chasers. So I think they need to have at least one Chaser focused on defense there, and then I think they might need to focus beater. It seems like the Seekers are pretty evenly matched. So if they can keep their Seeker alive, maybe that will help them eke out a victory.
So from your beater experience, I know this is always the most annoying part of our gig, but when the chasers are pressuring you, it used to be that the chasers would go pressure the seeker more. Now it seems like the tides have turned and the chasers have decided to revolt against the beater mains. How much do you think that affects the snitch race if they take someone like you out of the game to help your seeker?
Uh, it really depends. When the seekers are that even, if both teams are taking out the beaters, then it really comes down to the seeker versus seeker, and maybe who has the better keeper kicks. But it's really hard to say. I know it can get frustrating as a beater when you just are constantly getting tackled. It's definitely hard to keep your cool sometimes. So that can
I
definitely make a big difference.
I can agree. I have been learning what you have gone through for 2 seasons. And I must say it sucks. It really does. I gotta tell you, I hate this trend now that the keepers are trying to kick beaters now. It's like, no, go kick my seeker, please. Anyone but me, leave me alone. I only have a bat in my hands. What can I do?
Yeah, it's
It
definitely
gets
something to keep in mind when you're in the red zone.
it's mostly Beesman. I gotta say, I can't say anything mean because Beesman is one of the nicest people ever. But sometimes, Beesman, I mentally say words towards you. I got a love for you, Beesman, but sometimes I don't want to. I'm only kidding. All love for Beesman. I'm messing with him because I see him in the chat right now. Good dude. As we see the teams lineup, seems like they have their rosters set here for the game. To a couple of changes on both sides, though I won't say right now, as I don't like to spoil it before the games get in here. I will say though, if you're on the side of Nimbus Nighthawks, I would agree with Katie's assessment. You're going to have to put some pressure on the beater, but I think you can do that on a rotational sense. Look, you have 3 chasers that did show at the second half of that game that they can lock in and make some moves. And so I think at all times the chasers need to be aware of their field positioning. They need to be aware of where the opposing beater's positioning is, and they don't have to take themselves out of this game. There is a way to get swipes on that beater. The beater is not as fast as a seeker. They are an easier target to hit. Swipes on that beater and still keep some chaser positioning, as well as just don't allow any breakaways. Vitamin with Vin seemed like he was ready for some breakaways and side swiping some unexpected chasers, but it was dangerous the amount of times that we saw Skinny P and Glass, and even sometimes Teddy, just seemingly having free flights down the field, not really even utilizing a whole lot of pass options from we saw. It looks like there was a lot of solo cooks, though they did use the pass options for some fake flicks to freeze some goals up. So there'll definitely be this will be a lot to handle on the side of the chaser perspective for the Nimbus Nighthawks. Obviously, we may have a secret change here, though. It may be Michimo on secret. We did see Disc split it. So there is some hope on that end, but obviously, whether you're going against Rabo or Neo, it's going to be a tough battle. You're going to have to slow them down. Michimo and Disc Jockey with the right resources can easily though catch these snitches. So it will be a very, very fun to see what Nimbus Nighthawks do to change the strategy. And at the end of the BNG, I don't think they really need to change too much, except maybe just helping end a little bit on that Seeker game, although it did look like BNG was trying to close it out with that 100 quickly. So that may have been what happened there, as the Nimbus Nighthawks chasers did try very hard to secure that stitch for Disc, and they did do so. So as we wait here for the next games. So I'll ask you, Katie, as a member of the Wildcard Hagrids, is Seeker the role that you're most worried about getting? What's the role that when you hit any, you're just like, oh God, please don't give me this. Oh God, please don't give me this.
Yeah, it's definitely seeker. I've barely played Seeker. I still remember the first. I'm pretty sure it was the very first match with Bob's Baddies against what was basically Crazy Comms. Um, I got Seeker, and I literally went in and was like, "What button do I push to bump?"
Oh no.
So, and I've only played a handful of times since then. So I've definitely improved, apparently. I discovered today, but I kept losing the snitch today. Like it just was like turning and I was not following very well.
Absolutely. No.
Go ahead.
No, all good. I know, there's been a lot of talk about the wild card Hagrids. Obviously, on paper, y'all do have a very stacked roster, a roster that does include some previous World Cup players, and even players that may not have played in seasons, like Melanor is obviously a very skilled player and could compete in the World Cup. Now, I know y'all did go for the regulation matches or the small tourney to get into World Cup, but y'all decided y'all would still stick with the all any, regardless of what the results were. Do you feel that with your overall roster talent here in the Tri-Wizard division, that do y'all feel pretty confident, regardless of what role you all end on, knowing that there are some good flex players on your role to help, regardless of where they end up, to help out in any other positions that maybe someone doesn't feel uncomfortable on? Or do y'all still feel like it's a wild card of the season for y'all, regardless of the roster that y'all have?
I'm gonna be real honest and say that I've given literally no thought whatsoever. I just like look at and see if we have a game scheduled. But if I think about it now, I think we have a pretty good shot. We do have several players who are good, like all around, decent at every role or several of the roles. Um, and even those of us like me who are really only good at one role, I can play second beater if I end up as chaser. So I can do something. So I think we have a good chance.
I wouldn't say you're only good at one role, Katie. You do have an official L7 win on Keeper.
Yes, I do. That was definitely after, about an hour of coaching from Yukio, with him trying to make me not suck. But I can occasionally stop a quaffle.
There you go. Well, we go in here to our second match of B&G versus Nimbus Nighthawk. Some change-ups that we can see. We have T-Rabo here on Seeker with Airyberry backing him up on that beater position. Michimo is now on the Seeker position for Nimbus Nighthawks, I believe. And we are kicked off right now. The quaffle is in the hands of Dake Blueby, who is another change up for B&G. They have interchanged them out for Glass. And they are taking their shot. They did not get it. Cheese and Queso was able to steal it. Skinny P on the back, ready for the defense. They pass it on up to It's Harry. The quaffle is loose. Skinny reverse one-timers it. Picked up by Dake Blueby. He will have a pass option to his left. He does take it, and it one-timers from Teddy Ready into the right hoop. 10-0, 6 minutes, 20 seconds remain for B&G. Off to a hot start already. This is a very good sign.
It is nice when you can get an early score. It just helps bolster the whole team attitude, I think.
Absolutely. I always say, if you can get that first 20 and get it early, that is huge. You can play so much off that. Vibing with Vin, seemingly focusing Airy as he takes her down. Dark Rit Knight, or It's Harry, was able to take the ball, sends it right back to the hands of Scourge. Skinny has a pass lane to Dake, sends it a slow pass up to Dake. Cheese and Queso will be challenging him on the left side. Dake spins around, looks for his option. Skinny does not look like he will interfere for any one-timer possibility. Now it does look like he may, but it's a little too late. The ball was kicked out. Skinny will be going up with his pass lane of Dake. He sends it to him. Dake with the one-timer sends it into the right hoop. 20-0, 5 minutes, 20 seconds remains. And as I said, Katie, this is a very good position being up 20-0. You can really focus on that Seeker game and put yourself up by 50. Because even if you give up a score or two, as we see Scourge take out Vibing with Vin, you will get that 30-point lead. So this is very important for them, KD.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot. Gives a little bit of room in case they lose that snitch.
But as we can see here, KD, the game is over.
Yep.
The game is over. Maybe they were bloody hells out of that. So that will be a restart. You know, we were talking there, Katie, though, that it is good to focus the secret, but Neo did seemingly have a good lead there. And so let's say we're in a position, Katie, that we're up 20. And I love that I'm asking Katie these things because usually I'm the field general that calls these things out. So I'm quizzing KD on what what call I would make here, I suppose. But you know, you have a good seeker lead. You have the chaser advantage. At that point, do you maybe say, hey, you know, I trust my seeker. Don't screw this up. See if we can't put some more chaser scores on the board and really increase this lead out here.
Yeah, I would say I would have our chasers focus scoring and beater potentially just focus the other beater. And maybe, you know, if they're in a good position, they could help the chasers a little bit if it's convenient. I was always spoiled by very good chasers, though, so I didn't do a ton of helping our chasers scoring.
That is true. We did have a pretty decent chaser squad, I would say. Very blessed that I was able to share the field with said squad. We do see that BNG is already loaded up and looking for a game, so hopefully we jump back into game 2 here shortly. This might be a good refresh here for Nimbus to try to resettle down and say, okay, like they're gunning very hard. They're being very, very tenacious there on Chaser. The steals were going back and forth. They had some shots on Scourge. It didn't quite convert. Obviously, Scourge is one of the much tougher keepers to get past. So they'll have to possibly find some more trickery there, I think. Maybe some more one-timers.
They did take out Airy, too, which is definitely helpful for their snitch game. But they do need to make sure they don't focus too much on only taking out the beater.
Absolutely. We see... Okay.
Oh, no. Go. You're fine.
No, you're quite all right. You're doing great, Katie. We love having you here. So speak away as much as you want. The kickoff is off, and it's Harry Pothead, or it's Harry, sends it back to Dak Daniel. So I was wrong. Dak is in town. Cheese and Queso had the quaffle, passes it off, goes up to Dark Rit and Nighthawk. They seem to already have much better passing synergy. Skinny punching off the one-timer option. Doesn't matter. Dake was able to get his hands on the quaffle. He has his options with Teddy. As he does, passes it up to him. Teddy looks like he's going to take his one-on-one. He dodged downward, sends it to Dak. Skinny one-timers it right back. Vibing with Vin, taking out Airy. So even though you mentioned it, KD, Vibing with Vin still wanting to take Airy out of that snitch race early.
I do think that is, you know, Airy is a huge threat, so it's not a bad thing to do. I just worry when beaters get completely, you know, too focused on that. It can go wrong.
It can indeed. We see a one-timer attempt there. Many hoop sittings shenanigans happening there, so it was a little difficult. A lot of the chasers are sitting by Dak Daniels. That may be some of the adjustments. I have to ask, though, Katie, you know, you obviously as a beater don't want to overfocus the other beater. You do need to participate in that secret race. But do you think it helps at all if you keep that other beater on edge, saying, like, they really have to pay attention to their positioning? Because if they're not, they could just get smacked and taken out of the secret race very quickly.
That's true. It gives them something else they have to focus on and can't just sit there and wait for a seeker to come. They have to be constantly dodging and aware of their surroundings. It can also, you know, mental game is part of the game. So if you can piss them off enough, they might throw them off the rest of the game too.
I can't agree. I will say beaters will be beaters. If you make them upset, they do like to focus people. It's just they have the bat in their hand. We did see Dake Blueby get a score in there just a minute ago. right now, Dick has another chance for it. For Skinny, not electing the pass options, put it in the hands of Dak, who sends it back out to Dark Rit Nighthawk. He's looping his way downfield. He has Teddy ready to beat. Now he has Scourge to beat. Looks like vibing within looked like a possibility of dramming. Dark Rit sends it to Harry, who one-timers it in. It's now a 10-10 game. However, that snitch lead right now on the side of T-Rabo is looking very good, and Scourge has that hero protection right now as he kicks Michimo away. We're getting super close. Go ahead.
This is definitely a point as a beater you want to be focusing the Seeker, and probably the Chasers need to be focusing a Seeker too.
Ooh, Rabo getting launched right there. We hate to see that. Mitchie just trying to dominate the snitch path right now, not letting Rabo in. Mitchie's getting very close to that 100. She gets Chaser tackled right there. Rabo missed with the bump. This could be very unfortunate if he does not end up with this. He gets that bump and he gets the catch. T-Rabo plus 30 as Skinny also puts in a score, as Airy also takes down Mitchie. A lot just happened there, KD.
Those are the types of games you like to see. You know, keeps things interesting when it's this close.
Absolutely. You know, unfortunate that T-Rabo did have that launch. You know, that was something that all Seekers experienced. I know as sometimes when I played beater, when I've seen my Seeker, you know, get launched, I'm like, oh, no, because that's an opportunity that they might take it out. Airy taking a very quick elim there on Michimo, giving Neo a solid start here for this second snitch. But so much wrong can happen when you have that situation of getting launched and you can't have any movement. Airy taking down Vibey with Vin right there. Shout out to T-Rabo for that poise, calm, and collection for still catching with that snitch, even though Mitchie was so close to getting it. As it's Harry, has the quaffle, takes it on downfield to Scourge, having two chasers. He's looping around to beat. Teddy ready, able to get that steal, and Scourge punishing Dark Rit for it. Michimo at half HP already as Scourge tries to take some swings at her. The BNG chasers looks like they took a shot. Dak Daniel says, no, we are stopping this. Still, this is a better position than game one for the Nimbus Nighthawks. They're only down 40. That snitch race is still early. Some bumps going the right way can change things. Skinny putting it 60-10 with 2 minutes, 15 seconds remains. Mitchie is low. Scourge going to look to capitalize here. Or instead, Mitchie is just going to elect to stay out, play life. It may not be the worst situation in the world right now. She's going to have to find a way to get some bumps in.
Oh,
and
that's a
here it
nasty
goes,
kick.
KD. That is a nasty kick indeed. So at this point, KD, are you saying, okay, I'm just going to go chase a game, make sure we have the snitch insurance? Let's just make sure we don't lose that.
That's tough. I really think that they need both. Well, they just got a score, so that'll help a little bit.
60-20 in the side of a minute 30 side of BNG. I was asking more on the BNG side. If you're the BNG beater now, you're saying to yourself, okay, just we have more than a 30-point lead. We could just mess around with the chasers on beater. As Teddy puts in another one for a 70-20 lead with a minute 15 remaining.
Yeah, I think it's safe to probably help the chasers a bit, and then just keep an eye on the Seeker and beater combo when they're convenient.
Absolutely. Mitchie is fighting for her life out there. Airy is not letting off at all. There may be the side of Airy that says, how far can we take this? Rabo catching the game-winning snitch, 100-20 with 42 seconds remains. And BNG, after a unfortunate start to the day, closing it off here with a victory. KD, is this about what you expected to see for the bounce back of BNG?
You know, I was pretty confident that BNG could win this. I was not sure what the spread on the score would be because I haven't seen the Nighthawks play or really played with them much. So, but like I said, I was definitely biased towards BNG. I know most of them pretty well.
They are a group of great players, and they showed it right there. that when they can get that cohesion going, obviously having Skitty back is a huge one. But we do want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining myself and Robbo and KD on these two broadcasts today. We had such a great time. KD, you did an amazing time. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I hope it wasn't too terrible. If it was, everyone can let me know and I'll never join again.
You did great, KD. Stop. You did great. And your beater insight is always welcome. Congratulations on your victory as well. I want to give a huge shout out to L7, to Melanor, to Skipper, and to Riley, who helped produce this broadcast here. Can we get some WKDs and W Rileys in the chat, please? They did an awesome job. We do want to give a reminder to that there is a $500 prize pool to the World Cup Newts winners, as well as a $300 prize pool to the Tri Owls winner, and a $200 prize pool to the Tri Wizard Owls top scoring team. And we have some good games going tomorrow. The Bad Dragons versus Crazy Comms will be at 3 p.m. EST tomorrow. Dumbledore's Quidditch Club and Thin Ice, which is my team, will be playing at 3:30 p.m. EST tomorrow. And Obscure's Quidditch Club and Thin Ice will be playing at 4:30 p.m. EST tomorrow. So I will not be broadcasting anything tomorrow. I will be on the pitch. But whoever is broadcasting tomorrow, whether that be most likely Neo, since DQC will be playing as well, make sure to show them some love as they do their job tomorrow. But thank you all so much for such a fantastic day of Quidditch. And I bid you all a good night or a good rest of your day for the EU players. So see you, everyone. Thank you.